ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 4 चैप्टर 22 वर्स 22। One second. सा श्रद्धया भगवद्धर्मचर्यया जिज्ञासयाध्यात्मिकयोगनिष्ठया योगेश्वरोपासनया च नित्यं पुण्यश्रवः कथया पुण्यया च। Attachment for the Supreme can be increased by practicing devotional service, inquiring about the Supreme Person of Godhead, applying Bhakti Yoga in life. Worshipping the Yogeshwara, the Supreme Person of Godhead, and by hearing and chanting about the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead. These actions are pious in themselves. Punyashravana Kirtana Vadayantasthoya Bhadrani Vidunoti Surutsata. So attachment can be increased by practicing devotion, inquiring about the Supreme Person of Godhead, Jignasaya, Adhyatmika Jignasaya, Yoganishtaya. Yoganishta means Prabhupada is translating this as applying Bhakti Yoga in life. Basically, this is to be Nishta towards yoga, which means our in all actions, apart from engaging in direct devotional service, being Krishna conscious in all in all actions, being yoga nishtha, fixed in yoga. So Prabhupada is translating that as applying Bhakti Yoga in life. Then Upasanaya, Yoga, Yogeshwara Upasanaya, Upasana worship. Punya Shava Kataya, by hearing and chanting. So if we are doing all these things in our life, we will automatically develop attachment. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The word Yogeshwara is applicable to both the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna and his devotees also. In Bhagavad Gita, this word occurs in two places. In the 18th chapter, Krishna is described as Supreme Person of Godhead Hari, who is the master of all mystic power. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yogeshwara is also described at the end of the 6th chapter. Same Yuktatamo Mataha. This Yuktatama indicates the topmost of all yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmanam. Who the devotees who can also be called Yogeshwara. In this verse, Yogeshwara Upasana means to render service to the pure devotee. So while Prabhupada has translated as worshipping Supreme Person of Godhead, here in the purport he is saying is to render service to a pure devotee. So which means that both are correct or both are applicable. Thus Narottam Das Thakur says, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payache Keba. Without serving a pure devotee, one cannot advance in spiritual life. Prthu Maharaj also has said, Naishamatistavadarukramangrim sprishatyana anarthapagamo yadartah mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchananam navrinita yavat. Very beautiful. Mahiyasam. Na esha matihi tavat urkramangrim sprishati anartha apagamaha yat artha mahiyasam great souls mahatmas padaraja dust of the lotus feet abhishekam consecration nishkinchananam of devotees have nothing to do with this material world unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Mahiyasam. Mahatma. Dust of the lotus feet of a Mahatma, great Vaishnava. Great Vaishnava means, Mahatma means freed from Nishkinchananam, freed from material contamination. Nothing to do with. Devotees have nothing to do with this material world. Unless they smear the dust of the lotus feet of such Vaishnavas, persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached. Na yesham matihi, this kind of consciousness, meaning fixed in the lotus feet of the Lord, cannot be attained. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one be freed from material contamination. So basically here the focus is on smearing upon the bodies dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Mm. So smearing dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava basically means following instructions and also menial service to the devotees, Vapu and Vani Seva. But most important is Vani Seva because we won't get Vapu opportunity very often. So Pada Raja Abhishekam, you have to take bath in that. One should take shelter of a pure devotee who has nothing to do with this material world but is simply engaged in devotional service. By serving him only, one can transcend the qualitative material condition, the gunas. In this verse, it is recommended Yogeshwara Upasanaya that one can serve the lotus feet of the topmost yogi or the devotee. To serve the topmost devotee means to hear from him about the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead. To hear the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead from the mouth of a pure devotee is to acquire a pious life. So Prabhupada is saying, serving also means hearing from a pure devotee. If you want to serve Srila Prabhupada, we have to read his books. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that without being pious, one cannot engage in devotional service, meaning pure devotional service. One can engage in mixed devotional service, but one cannot engage in pure devotional service unless he is completely pious. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Who dvandva moha nirmukta? Those are free from this dvandva and moha, meaning material modes. Those who transcended the material modes. And antagatam papam. Sinful life has stopped. Punya karmanam. They're engaging in punya karma. What do? Bhajanti mam dridhavrataha, fixed, full determination, nishta. To become fixed in devotional service, one has to become completely cleansed from the contamination of the material modes of nature. For work in the devotional service, the first item is Adav Guru Ashrayam. One should accept a bona fide spiritual master and from him inquire about one's transcendental occupational duties. Sadharma Prucha. Inquire, and follow in the footsteps of great saintly persons. And whatever the bona fide spiritual master instructs should become everything for us in our life. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Fixed intelligence in just achieving that, following that instruction, in putting that instruction into practice. That is the way of perfection. So we normally say Guru Adav Shraddha. No, but Prabhupada is saying here it is Guru Ashrayam first. Little Shraddha has to be there for somebody to take shelter of a Guru. But again, as I've been repeating again and again and again, it is about this inquiry, it is about hearing from Guru and following. Sadhu Marga Anugamanam. These are the instructions given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. The conclusion is that to increase attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to accept a bona fide spiritual master and learn from him, learn from him the methods of devotional service and hear from him about the transcendental message and glorification. Now, hear me doesn't mean just pastimes. That's why Prabhupada is writing about the transcendental message and glorification, pastimes, etc. But you have to hear the message saying, okay, do this, change your life like this, and follow that. In this way, one has to increase his conviction about devotional service. Conviction. How will one increase conviction by doing this? Because when we follow, when we practice whatever is being told, we will experience change in heart. We will see that we are making spiritual progress. Then we have more conviction. Oh, yes, devotional service works. Then it will be very easy to increase attachment for the Supreme Lord. Not otherwise. Not if you are not hearing, not if you are not putting those instructions in practice. Otherwise, for us, everything is difficult. Everything is impossible. Oh, this is not possible. That is not possible. Why so many rules? Why this? Why that? Hmm. That is because we are not hearing. Uh, Yesterday, last week some devotee was saying, so a small thing. He said, we are going to, actually it's my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj Vyas Puja on 13th in Tirupati. And then there is some dress code that is very strictly followed there, which is Vaishnava clothes, basically, right? From whatever small, young age to old age, everybody needs to follow Vaishnava etiquette. And then one Mataji was not able to understand, accept. Think, why so many rules? Why so many rules? Why so many rules? Because we have been like living independently, whimsically for so many lifetimes, and we have not been able to achieve anything meaningful spiritually. So we have to follow rules. Hmm. But for which we have to read, we have to hear. Prabhupada wanted to introduce Vaishnava Vedic culture. Vedic culture. Without Vedic culture, we can't establish Vaishnava culture. Vaishnava culture is based on Vedic culture. And basic things like, these are all not even to be told. Like if you are, for example, in unfortunately in South India, this is not practiced. When you are in front of a sadhu, mm, Matajis have to cover their head. It's a very general, I mean, North India, everybody does this. Even when they go into the temple. Because it's a general known practice saying that Matajis have to cover their heads. Now, if we tell this in South India, then people are all agitated, saying that why we have to cover, what is this? Some kind of burqa system. No, but this is already, this is not, somebody has not created this. This is how it is. This is how it has been. Hmm. So we have to learn. We have to learn. We cannot just say that no, I will do my own way. I will do whatever I want. Hmm. There are rules, right? And we have to just simply follow. There's no, we're not going to gain anything by just rebelling these or questioning these, because this is the culture of Goloka Vrindavan, which is what Srila Prabhupada has introduced to us, isn't it? That's why I tell all devotees, if you're coming to the temple for whatever reason, please come in Vaishnava clothes. Let's set a standard at least, for the rest of those devotees who are not aware of this. And then they will also ask, saying, oh, how come you are in sari, you are in dhoti kurta? Today is not a festival. Then no, whenever we come into the temple, we are in Vaishnava clothes. It doesn't matter. It's for the pleasure of the Lord. Now, these things we have to hear and follow. Now, unfortunately, because people are not reading Prabhupada's books, people don't understand what was Prabhupada's mood. So anything and everything today is okay. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We have now come to the stage where we are saying somehow anyway let them do bhakti. And we have to understand that somehow doesn't work. And we see devotees struggling because it's a package deal. Everything needs to be followed. Then results are seen. Hmm. Very easy to increase attachment. But we have to first learn to follow instructions. We have to become submissive. The whole idea of these instructions is to actually make us submissive, give up our independence, give up our The independent thinking. I like this, I don't like this, we have to give up. So unless we do this, we cannot make quick progress. Otherwise, we can make progress. Mm. Not that we cannot make progress because bhakti is so powerful. But all these things, following all these things, whatever is being told, etc., it's easy to increase attachment. Of course, I mean, another way to increase attachment is actually studying yesterday in one class saying that, there's a Mayapur Yatra in end of March. So please join. Because you come with all the devotees on the train, do Shravanam Kirtanam, engross yourself in the mood of Vrindavan, the mood of Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mercy flows. And then after all that, then we go to Jagannath Puri, get mercy of the Lordships there. Then we go to Mayapur and then stand in front of Radha and Madhav and cry. That is the attachment. That is the attachment. Because you don't feel like leaving Radha Madhav and coming back. So it's very easy to increase attachment to Krishna. Prabhupada has given us so many beautiful, ways that our acharyas have given. Prabhupada has very clearly outlined for us. All we have to do is simply follow. And sometimes, it's just like very difficult to understand why devotees are not experiencing happiness in bhakti. Mm. And yeah, devotees come and say, no, no, this is not happening, that is not happening. Because they're not following. Simple. They're not following the morning program. If you're following the morning program, getting up early, chanting our rounds, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and the whole idea of this morning session is to develop love for Prabhupada's purports. Isn't it? They're so beautiful. Just look at this, just hearing something like conclusion that to increase attachment. It's very easy to increase attachment. Now, those of us who don't have attachment to Supreme Lord, to Krishna, we can understand saying that, okay, no, I can develop attachment. For those who have little attachment, we can say it's very easy to increase attachment. These are all inspiring words, inspiring instructions, but we have to just follow. We have to just follow. So kindly follow this. Hear from whoever is your spiritual master. Please hear. Please read Prabhupada's books. Please hear and follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. So many devotees are so ecstatic, book marathon. Everybody is so happily distributing mercy. Why? Because we've heard saying Prabhupada is most pleased when book distribution happens. Then all our gurus, irrespective, right? Everybody is pleased when books are distributed. That's a known fact. But still, I see so many. I mean, we have one book distribution group of various devotees, almost 70, 75 devotees. But I see not more than 15 devotees are actually actively distributing books because they're not hearing. They're not hearing. So at least, this morning class devotees, I request all of you to set a standard. Set a standard. Let others come and ask you, saying that why are you distribute? This is another funny thing. Why are you distributing books in other months of the year apart from marathon? That's also something that is asked. It looks like it's come to people in ISKCON today. I think that book distribution means only marathon. Yeah, that is for those who don't do book distribution throughout the year. For them, at least marathon, please come out of your houses. But this is to be throughout the year. And then other devotees should come and ask saying that how come you're distributing books in other months? Then we have to say, yes, Prabhupada was very pleased with this service, so we are trying to please Prabhupada. Hmm. So please read Prabhupada's books, please follow his instructions, please hear from Guru, follow his instructions. And that is the way. Very easy. It's very, very easy. It's very easy. At least I've experienced this. Just trying to follow instructions of the instructions of Prabhupada I had already heard, but I did not have the motivation, enthusiasm to follow these instructions. Then the same things were repeated by my Guru Maharaj. Then I heard them. When I heard them, then if I don't follow, then it is Guru Ravagya. Simple, actually. I just want to say. Shivanand Prabhu and myself, two Vyas Pujas back, in Srirangam. So we were at the Vyas Puja, and then there was one session about Srimad Bhagavatam distribution, and they gave an example of a congregation where just Grahasthas distributed 1,000 Bhagavatams in 1 month during marathon. And we heard it, and both of us were very, very inspired, and we were saying, how can we put this into practice? Of course, Yohanand Prabhu got more inspired, and then he started off himself, right? Much before then, it took me so much more time, but at least that one instruction, hearing from Maharaj saying that no, we have to distribute books, we have to distribute sets, we have to distribute Bhagavatam. Today, at least, we are able to do that, and with that we see that there is increased attachment. So it's very simple. It's simply trying to follow instructions. It might be that we are totally unqualified for that. We don't have the qualification. We can't do it. We don't have the ability. But yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. The mercy will flow. Always remember, if we want to increase attachment, take up something which is beyond comfort zone. I'm telling this again and again. Automatically, why you will develop attachment to the Supreme Lord? Because Supreme Lord will show his manifest presence in your life, saying that I'm there with you. Go ahead. I'm there with you. I'm protecting you. I'm guiding you. So then automatically we're saying, oh, Krishna, you're there. Krishna is there with us. It'd be like Prahlad Maharaj, right? Prahlad Maharaj knew Krishna was there with him. But for that, if we are just within comfort zone, nothing will happen. Yeah. These words should actually prick us, saying that how much attachment do I have? How much attachment do I have? I want to increase attachment. And then follow this. See, one paragraph can really very, very powerful. Prabhupada's purports are very powerful. Athendri. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Prabhu, in the translation, there is, I mentioned towards practicing devotional service as well as applying bhakti yoga in life.
yeah,
So, what will be the difference between both, Prabhu?
yeah. Practicing devotional service is direct activities of devotion, Shravanam Kirtanam. Applying Bhakti Yoga in life is, for example, right now we are earning money using that. Basically, that's what I said. It's Krishna, being Krishna conscious in all aspects of our life. When we are not directly engaged in direct devotional service, which is Shravanam Kirtanam, which we do for whatever 2 hours, 2.5 hours, the remaining time of our day should be Krishna conscious. That's what is the purpose.
Okay, okay. So, this is basically Navavida Bhakti is devotional service. Is
Direct
that?
practicing devotional service is Navavida Bhakti. Yoga Nishtha, this is the word here, Yoga Nishtaya. Yoga
Mm.
Nishtaya means being uh, mm, dedicated to yoga, meaning always being connected with Krishna in whatever we do. That's Yoga Nishtaya.
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. अर्थेन्द्रिया रामसगोष्ठ्यतृष्णया तत्सम्मतानाम् अपरिग्रहेण च विविक्तरुच्या परितोष आत्मनि विना हरेर्गुणः पीयूषपानात्. One has to make progress. See, again, so beautiful. I mean, each and every word that Prabhupada uses. One has to make progress in spiritual life. How? By not associating with persons who are simply interested in sense gratification and making money. Not only such persons, but one who associates with such person should be avoided. Hmm? Directly such persons and associates of such persons. So directly materialistic persons and then those who are very dear to materialistic persons, both have to be avoided. Avoided meaning not associating. Of course, we might go for mercy distribution, but not to take their association. Please, one should mold his life. Please note the word mold. One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace. He cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of the glorification of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Hari. Hmm? One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without doing Shravanam Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. One can thus be thus elevated by being disgusted with the taste for sense enjoyment. See, disgust. Look at the words. Make progress, not associate, mold life, cannot live in peace, being disgusted. In the material world, everyone is interested in money and sense gratification. So, what can we call these people? Hmm? Hiranyakashipu, isn't it? Hiranya and Kashipu. Sense gratification, comfort, blah. Everyone is Hiranyakashipu. The only objective is to earn as much money as possible and utilize it for satisfaction of the senses. It's okay to earn as much as possible and use everything in Krishna's service. But using it for our own purpose is sense gratification. Simple. Hmm? Bhagavatam says, Labho jiveta yavata, jivasya tattva jignasa. Labho jiveta yavata, jiveta, self-preservation, that's all. Hmm? Dharmasya hyapavargasya narthorthayopakalpate. Na artha, artha. Dharma is not for artha. Hmm. Kamasya nendriya preetir. Hmm. And kama means not satisfaction of senses. Kama means satisfaction, satisfying Krishna's senses. That is prema. So not for our satisfaction. Srila Shukadeva Goswami thus described the activities of the materialistic persons. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena cha vayaha. Divacharthe haya rajan kutumba bharanena va. Typical materialist. At night they waste time sleeping more than 6 hours or by wasting time in sex indulgence. This is their occupation at night. And in the morning they go to their office or business just to earn money. Dharmasya hyapavargasya. Dharma vritti is for apavarga. As soon as there is some money, they become busy in purchasing things. Kama for their children and others. Such persons are never interested in understanding the values of life. What is God? What is the individual soul? What is the relationship with God, etc. Things are degraded to such an extent that those who are supposed to be religious are also at the present moment interested only in sense gratification. The number of materialistic persons in this age of Kali has increased more than in any other age. Therefore, persons who are interested in going back home, back to Godhead, should not only engage in the service of self-realized souls, but should give up the company of materialistic persons whose only aim is to earn money and employ it in sense gratification. Now, when we associate with such people and try to get subscribe to their views, their view is, why are you wasting life? Yes, earn money till you die. Earn money till you die. Keep earning money and hoard it. Put it in your bank account. Buy assets, one property after another, etc., etc. Why? Sense gratification. What will you do? Are you going to donate it to Krishna later? No, you're not going to donate. Because if you have to donate, you will donate it today. You will not donate it tomorrow. And they will discourage. And such people, in the name of devotees, they will discourage other devotees who are serious and who want to make progress. They'll say, no, 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 why all this is required? Chill, Maro. Take life easy. Don't. I know, some devotees who are constantly, they keep getting discouraged, or other so-called senior devotees pull them down, saying that don't do book distribution every day. Spend time with your family, go out, have fun. Why you are becoming so, intense about your devotion? These are all materialistic viewpoints. We don't find these in Bhagavad Gita. I don't know where devotees are finding these. We don't find it in Prabhupada's books. To be casual, to take life easy, to be little materialistic is okay. Where do we find these in Prabhupada's books? Has anybody found? I'm opening it up to. all the devotees here, have anybody found anywhere in Prabhupada's books, whatever, how much ever you read Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada anywhere saying it's okay to have little sense gratification?
No, Prabhuji.
Of course, he says that, okay, senses are there, they have to be gratified as much as is required. Yuktahara viharasya yukta testasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya. Yukta, that's okay, that's not sense gratification. That is requirement, basic requirement. But Prabhupada is never saying, not saying anywhere, saying that your life, focus of life is to earn money, employ it in sense gratification. Then why do devotees speak like this? Why do devotees discourage other devotees who are wanting to do this? Any thoughts? Why are devotees not able to understand the mood of devotion? Why are devotees not able to understand the mood of Srila Prabhupada? When it's so clear. It's not even some complex, presentation and, different people can interpret it different way. No, Prabhupada has made it so simple, straightforward. Why can't people understand this? It beats me. Only answer I get is they're not reading Prabhupada's books. That's all. Therefore, it is stated, Bhakti Pareshanu Bhavo Viraktir Anyatra Cha. To advance in devotional service, one should be Viraktir Anyatra. Paresha Anubhava. Viraktir Anyatra. Anyatra means other things, which is basically materialist way of life. Viraktir, disinterested. That which is the subject matter of satisfaction for the devotees is of no interest to the non-devotees and vice versa. And it should be vice versa. That subject matter of satisfaction for non-devotees should be something of no interest to the devotees. And even this statement, if subject matter of satisfaction for devotees cannot be the subject matter of interest for non-devotees. Meaning if we are also doing things which are of interest to the non-devotees, that means it's not a devotional activity. Simple negation or giving up the company of materialistic persons will not do. We must have engagements. Sometimes it is found that a person interested in spiritual advancement gives up the company of material society and goes to a secluded place as recommended for the yogis especially. But that will also not help a person in spiritual advancement, for in many instances such yogis also fall down. As far as Gnanis are concerned, generally they fall down without taking shelter of the lotus feet of Lord. The impersonalists or the voidists can simply avoid the positive material association. They cannot remain fixed in transcendence without being engaged in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to hear about the glories of the Supreme Lord. That is recommended in this verse. Vina harer guna piyusha panat. Panat, drinking. Pibata bhagavata rasamalem. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Pibata panat. Same thing. One must drink the nectar of the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And this means that one must be always engaged in hearing and chanting the glories. Always. These words are used intentionally. Right? Always. It is a prime method for advancing in spiritual life. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends that this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. If one wants to make advancement in spiritual life by great fortune, he may meet a bona fide spiritual master. And from him, learn about Krishna. By serving both spiritual master and Krishna, he gets the seed of devotional service. And if he sows the seed within the heart, and waters it by hearing and chanting, it grows into a luxuriant bhakti lata or bhakti creeper. And this hearing and chanting doesn't simply end with doing 16 rounds chanting. It actually means reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And for those who are illiterates or can't read, for them, hearing from somebody who can read. Who can read. The creeper is so strong that it penetrates the covering of the universe and reaches the spiritual world and continues to grow on and on until it reaches and takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Just as an ordinary creeper also grows on and on until it takes a solid shelter on a roof. Then it very steadily grows and produces the required fruit. What is the required fruit? Krishna Prema. The real cause of the growing, which is here called the nectar of hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord, is to water the creeper of devotional service by hearing and chanting. The purport is that one cannot live outside the society of devotees. One must live in the association of devotees, where there is constant chanting and hearing of the glories of the Lord. Not constant chanting and hearing about how I can increase my bank balance, about how, nowadays people also are used to this stock, investing in stock craziness, day trading 1,000 times. They look up those, keeps refreshing their apps, all craziness. The Krishna conscious movement is started for this purpose. So that hundreds of ISKCON centers may give people a chance to hear and chant, to accept the spiritual master, and to dissociate themselves from persons who are materially interested. For in this way, one can make solid advancement in going back home, back to God. So we're also starting a new program which is about Bhagavata Shravana, right? Like basically devotees come together, not in class, not in not in a center, or you know just group of devotees come together, new people, just bring them together, read Bhagavatam. So somehow we have to just give opportunity for people to hear and chant Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, whatever, right? And in this way we can make solid advancement, going back home, back to God. Okay, I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, with respect to the new program, what you were mentioning, so if we are starting, it will be mainly for a non-devotees congregation, right?
Yeah.
So,
Practicing
Srimad,
devotees can
yeah,
help other devotees who are new to Krishna consciousness. They can help them read, bring them into this reading habit. That's the whole idea. If you bring
okay,
them into reading habit, then they are going to read. Then we don't have to be behind them. They become
okay,
devotees automatically. Prabhupada will preach to them. Krishna will speak to them.
okay, okay.
That is why when
But
we are
if we are
distributing Bhagavatam
starting
also, we are saying Nityam Bhagavata Sevya means opening Bhagavatam and reading every day. And
right,
many devotees can't do that. So other devotees, practicing devotees should help them. So create small groups, 4 or 5 devotees, once in a week, or if somebody has more time, you can even do online reading sessions or in-person reading sessions every day. Half an hour is good enough. Just they have to get used to reading every day Prabhupada's books. That's enough.
Mm. Any books is what you're saying, Prabhu, or
Any book is any book. I mean, any book is fine. Any
because I
Prabhupada's books are
was
fine.
just thinking, like, Bhagavatam can be too heavy
No,
for,
Bhagavatam is not at all heavy. Bhagavatam is so sweet. See, only when we are reading Bhagavatam to people, we also have to understand what we have to highlight. We are not going to hammer as I am hammering here, right? Um, this is because it's a congregation of, you know, seriously practicing devotees, that we are going into those aspects of purport, which will fix us in our sadhana. But when we are talking to new devotees, it's like attachment to Krishna. We can talk about attachment to Krishna. We can talk about how Krishna reciprocates, you know instill bhakti, right? That attraction to Krishna. So the mood can be slightly different, right? But Bhagavatam, because Krishna is present and there is a storyline also, right? Like you're reading, and then Pandavas are there, Krishna is there, and then different avatars are there, different devotees are there. Just by hearing about the activities of various devotees, how Krishna reciprocates, how he shows his love towards devotees, how he creates, how he maintains, how everything depends on him, every aspect of Bhagavatam, will increase people's attraction. And first of all, they'll understand, no, they'll know, oh, Krishna is doing all this. Automatically, that's the first reason for attachment, right? Then they will see. Actually, in fact, Prabhupada's small books are very heavy, super hammering. So yeah, Bhagavatam, we've seen at least in Karnataka, because our Bhagavad Gita is not up to the mark translation. Many people have read Bhagavatam and become devotees. So why not? Anyway, like I said, it can be anything based on the audience. Like, for example, Pratisha Mataji wants to start a reading group in her apartment, which is Bhagavad Gita, which is fine if she thinks Bhagavad Gita is what is required there. Somewhere else we started Bhagavatam, a completely new set of devotees. And already two Matajis there they invited Bhagavatam, Krishna home in the form of Bhagavatam. And now they're going to open it. At least once a week they'll open. Then we'll somehow push them to open every day, inspire them to open every day. But that's the idea.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam, Prabhu.
Pranam.
Prabhu, small doubt, like regarding giving up material association who desires for materialistic things.
Yeah.
So we can gradually progress in this, no, Prabhu, which means where slowly till 40, after that, then we can completely come out. Or is it what we are
No,
doing
we are
right now?
okay. Okay, let me clarify that. Okay, good question. See, when we are saying don't associate with materialistic people, it doesn't mean that stop interacting with them. It doesn't mean that we will seclude ourselves from the society. It just means that don't get influenced by their thought process. So they'll come and say, why are you doing bhakti? Shashank Prabhu, you're so young. You're like crazy, do work, earn money, buy house, buy car, go here and there, go enjoy life. This is their prescription. We should not subscribe to it. They will say we can hear this side and leave, especially if it is our elders, etc. Just respect them, hear from this side, leave it from that side. Don't act on it. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Raghunath Das Goswami, saying that externally just be like a normal materialistic person, normal person of this world. Internally remain attached to Krishna, meaning don't ever do anything which is going to kill your Krishna consciousness, irrespective from whom it comes. Externally, we can be very nice. We can even, show like we are doing what they want, but internally we should not get affected. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhu, with respect to that, right? Sometimes, even if we have to be with their association and still dealing ourselves, we may end up doing few material, activities which are not, related to Krishna consciousness.
It's okay if you do material activities, but not get materially attached.
Attached. Okay.
That is the important thing. But see, the problem is like this, right? We are not very strong yet, right? So we might do those activities, we might get carried away by those also, right? So in some cases we might have to avoid. For example, my own life experience, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I used to like old Hindi songs a lot. Now what happens is inevitably any get together, blah blah happening, there'll be somebody will say karaoke, somebody will start singing some old songs, blah blah. Then initially I used to get like very disturbed because when then I used to come out of that me function or whatever, and then I'm also singing, not Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Some mundane song. And then I realized, okay, some things are very dangerous, which is going to just drag me down. So those things I started avoiding. Then there are others which are not so, impacting so much our consciousness. And those things we can do. See, but Yukta, we have to be. It's not like we are going to. Okay, once in 3 months somebody calls somewhere something blah. Okay, if it cannot be avoided, but best thing is to avoid. But if it cannot be avoided, okay, but not like every weekend. Once or twice a month. Not like that. That too, you have to give some 100 reasons you can give to avoid, right? Just as much as is required so that we can give them Bhagavatam later.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
See, eventually we have to preach to everybody, right? And if we can't completely like become very high, we should not have like bad relationship with people, right? Or we should not be harsh to them, or we can just avoid things that are going to negatively affect our Krishna consciousness. That's the whole point. Okay. Anything else?
Yep. Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Should we close? Sure. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare